over notable landmarks, including the Mount
773
Lofty
Adelaide
ranges
ground,
and the
pushback
shores of the
approved,
Gulf
face
and Vincent
southeast.
Pool. Today, we're flying aboard an Airbus
Pushback approved, face
A320,
southeast,
a very reliable
JST773.
aircraft well known for its efficiency and advanced avionics. It is a pleasure to have you with us, and we anticipate a smooth and enjoyable flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, shortly after takeoff, we will begin our onboard service with the first complimentary meal, designed to make your short journey a little more enjoyable. You will find the menu detailing our offerings in the seat pocket in front of you. If you have any dietary requirements or special requests, please feel free to inform me or a member of our cabin crew. We are here to ensure your comfort throughout the flight. Thank you for flying with Jetstar, and we hope you have a pleasant experience.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will. Please set parking brakes. Unlocking gear.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Tyson Monroe speaking, and I would like to warmly welcome you aboard Jetstar flight number 773 from Adelaide to Melbourne. We're delighted to have you with us on the short
Disconnected.
flight aboard our
Bypass
Airbus F420 aircraft.
Left is clear.
Joining me today
Right
is
is
Lucy,
clear.
one of our attentive cabin crew members, who will be assisting you during the journey. We are still parked at the gate as final preparations take place. Thank you very much for choosing to fly with Jetstar, and we hope you have a pleasant flight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain again. Our flight today is expected to take approximately 57 minutes. We will be cruising at an altitude of 35,000 feet. The weather forecast for Melbourne is partly cloudy, with a temperature of about 15 degrees Celsius, so please prepare accordingly upon arrival. We will be flying over some beautiful landmarks, including the Mount Lofty Ranges near Adelaide and the expansive plains of Victoria. The Airbus A320 aircraft we are operating is a highly efficient and modern machine known for its comfortable cabin and advanced avionics, which ensures a smooth and safe journey. Please keep your seatbelt fastened while seated and whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Thank you for your attention.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lucy, and I will be your cabin crew member during this flight. As the captain mentioned, we are preparing for departure and will be taking off shortly. Please ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened, your seat back is in the upright position, and your tray table is stowed away. We kindly ask you to switch off all personal electronic devices or set them to airplane mode. Should you require any assistance or have any questions, please do not hesitate to approach me or any of my colleagues. We thank you for choosing Jetstar and wish you a comfortable journey.
JST773, request taxi to the
Ladies
active.
and gentlemen, shortly after takeoff, we will begin our onboard service featuring a complimentary meal to enjoy
JST773,
during the
runway
flight.
2, tree taxi via
You will
Tango
find
Tree,
a menu
Tango,
conveniently
Tango
placed
2,
in the seat pocket in
Foxtrot,
front of
Bravo
you,
1,
offering a
Bravo,
selection
Bravo
of
2.
tasty and refreshing options. If you have any
Runway
dietary
23, taxi via
requirements or
Tango 3, Tango, Tango 2,
please inform
Foxtrot,
one of
Bravo
our
1,
cabin
Bravo,
crew
Bravo
members
2,
and we will be happy to
JST773.
assist you. We appreciate your cooperation and hope you find our service enjoyable. Thank you for flying with Jetstar.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the crew I ask that you please direct your attention to the crew members as we review the emergency procedures. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. Take a minute to locate the exit closest to you. Note that the nearest exit may be behind you. Should the cabin experience sudden pressure loss, stay calm and listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose, like this. Pull the strap to tighten it. If you are traveling with children, make sure that your own mask is on first before helping your children. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-on items behind. Life rafts are located below your seats, and emergency lighting will lead you to your closest exit.
JetStar773, contact Adelaide Tower 120.5. Have a good afternoon.
While we wait for takeoff, please take a moment to review
Contact
the
Tower
safety data card in the seat
120.5,
pocket in front of you.
JetStar773. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you for your attention.
JetStar773, ready to go. Runway 23 dar.
Jetstar 773, Adelaide Tower, wind 270 at 12, fly heading 220, runway 23, cleared for takeoff.
Fly heading
Approaching
220, runway 23, cleared for takeoff. JetStar773.
All aircraft be advised, information Tango now current, QNH 1015.
On runway 23.
773, reset transponder, Squawk 4215.
Squawk 4215, Jetstar 773.
Jetstar 773, contact Adelaide departure 118.2.
Contact Adelaide departure 118.2, Jetstar 773. Adelaide departure, Jetstar 773, 2,200 feet.
Jetstar 773, Adelaide departure, identified, climb to flight level 170.
Climb to flight level 170, Jetstar 773.
Jetstar 773, turn left, heading 095. Expect further clearance in about 15 miles.
Turn left, heading 095, Jetstar 773.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently ascending to our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened. In just a few moments, we will begin our complimentary meal service. Our cabin crew will be passing through the cabin of the service car, and you will have the opportunity to make your selection. Please find the Sky menu in the seat pocket in front of you for details about the meal options available. Should you require any assistance during the service, do not hesitate to let us know. Thank you for your cooperation.
Foxtrot November Hotel, contact Melbourne Centre 125.3.
Contact Melbourne Centre 125.3, Foxtrot November Hotel.
Jetstar 773, cleared direct Bendo. Resumo navigation.
Cleared direct Bendo, resume own navigation,
As you
Jetstar
can see,
773.
The seatbelt sign has been turned off. You may now move around the cabin, but we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened while seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
JST773, contact Melbourne Centre 125.3.
Contact Melbourne Centre 125.3, Jetstar 773. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 773 through flight level 147 for flight level 170, direct bendo.
Jetstar 773, Melbourne Centre, radar contact, climb to flight level 350.
Climb to flight level 350, Jetstar 773.
Melbourne Centre, Qantas 690. Good afternoon, passing flight level 160 for flight level 190.
Qantas 690, Melbourne Centre, identified, climb to flight level 390.
Climb to flight level 390, Qantas 690.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our in-flight service. The first complimentary meal will be served shortly. We kindly remind you that payments can be made using either card or cash.
1956.
You can find more information about our offerings in the Sky menu located in the seat pocket in front of you. Please remain seated while we conduct the service, and if you require any assistance, do not hesitate to ask one of our cabin crew members.
Good afternoon. Radar contact.
Thank you for your
Climb to
attention
flight level
and enjoy your
360.
meal.
Climb to flight level 360, Unity 1956.
Eastern 273, Melbourne Centre, expect radar vectors. RNAV, runway 19er.
Expect radar vectors, RNAV runway 19er, Eastern 273.
690. Contact Melbourne Centre, 122.1.
Center on 122.1. Qantas 690. Have a good afternoon.
JST773. Contact Melbourne Centre 122.1.
Contact Melbourne Centre 122.1, Jetstar 773, bye-bye. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 773, crossing flight level 326 for flight level 350, direct relap.
Jetstar 773, Melbourne Centre, radar contact.
and gentlemen, we are now pleased to offer you our in-flight duty-free shopping service. On board, you will find an exclusive selection of premium fragrances, luxury accessories, and travel essentials perfect for gifts or personal indulgence. Please take a moment to browse the catalogue located in the seat pocket in front of you. Our cabin crew will be passing through the cabin with the shopping cart to assist you with your selections. We accept both card payments and cash for your convenience. Feel free to ask any of our crew members for assistance or recommendations. Enjoy the shopping experience.
JST773 approaching our top of descent, ready for lower.
JST773, Melbourne Airport, landing runway 34.
Melbourne Airport, landing runway 34, JST773.
JST773, descend to flight level 270.
Descend to flight level 270, Jetstar 773.
Jetstar 773, contact Melbourne Centre 118.6. Have a good afternoon.
Centre on 118.6, Jetstar 773. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 773, good afternoon, flight level 348.
Jetstar 773, Melbourne Centre, identified.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We will be commencing our descent into Melbourne shortly. As it is the afternoon, air traffic around the airport is expected to be busy. However, we will do our utmost to find a shortcut and land as soon as possible. Please ensure your seatbelt is securely fastened and follow all instructions from our cabin crew. Thank you for your attention.
Velocity 742, Melbourne Centre, identified. Continue climb to flight level 380.
Continue climb to flight level 380, velocity 742.
Jetstar 773, contact Melbourne Centre 124.0.
Centre on 124.0, Jetstar 773. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 773, flight level 327.
Jetstar 773, Melbourne Centre, radar contact.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have now begun our descent into Melbourne, with an estimated time of arrival in approximately 20 minutes. The weather at our destination is partly cloudy with a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius, and conditions are favorable, so we do not anticipate any delays. Please ensure your seatbelt is securely fastened and follow all instructions from our cabin crew as we prepare for landing. Thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from our captain, we are beginning our descent into Melbourne. Please ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and that your seat back and tray table are in the upright position. We will be coming through the cabin shortly to collect any remaining service items. Thank you for your cooperation.
Melbourne Centre, velocity 334, descending via RB8 Alpha, flight level 188. Velocity 334, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. Flight 19, contact Melbourne Centre 125.2.
Centre on 125.2, Tel Flight 19, bye-bye.
JST773, descend to flight level 200.
Descend to flight level 200, JST773.
Qantas 693, contact Melbourne Centre 122.1, bye-bye. Centre on 122.1, Qantas 693.
Melbourne Centre, Qantas 690, good afternoon. Through flight level 149er for flight level 390.
Qantas 690, Melbourne Centre, identified. 773, descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, Jetstar 773.
Velocity 334, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1007.
Descend to 9,000 feet. QNH 1007, velocity 334.
Jetstar 773, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1007.
Descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1007, Jetstar 773.
Velocity 334, contact Melbourne, approach 132.0.
Contact Melbourne, approach 132.0, velocity 334.
Jetstar 773, contact Melbourne, approach 132.0.
Contact Melbourne, approach 132.0, Jetstar 773. Melbourne approach, Jetstar 773, flight level 146 with the numbers.
Jetstar 773, Melbourne approach. Good afternoon, QNH 1007. Expect radar vectors for all on nav runway 34.
QNH 1007, expect radar vectors for RNAV runway 34, Jetstar 773.
Jetstar 773, turn left heading 145, vectors for the approach. Expect further clearance in about 26 miles.
Turn left heading 145, Jetstar 773.
Velocity 334, descend to 8,000 feet.
Descend to 8,000 feet, velocity 334.
Melbourne approach, rec 3685, flight level 145. We have Tango on board.
Velocity 334, descend to 2,500 feet.
Descend to 2,500 feet, velocity 334.
Jetstar 773, descend to 4,000 feet.
Descend to 4,000 feet, Jetstar 773.
Jetstar 773, turn right, heading 170.
Turn right, heading 170, Jetstar 773.
Jetstar 773, turn right, heading 170, descend to 3,000 feet.
Turn right, heading 170, descend to 3,000 feet, Jetstar 773.
Jetstar 773, turn right, heading 230.
Turn right, heading 230, Jetstar 773.
Rex 3685, Melbourne approach, QNH 1007, expect the R. Nav runway 34.
QNH 1007. Expect the RNAV runway 34, Rex 3685.
Rex 3685, descend to 1,600 feet, QNH 1007.
Descend to 1,600 feet, QNH 1007, Rex 3685.
Melbourne approach, Eastern 290, 9,900 feet, we have Tango. Eastern 290, Melbourne approach, QNH 1007, expect the R, nav runway 34. QNH 1007, expect the R, nav runway 34, Eastern 290. Jetstar 773, 5 miles from Adelaide, turn right, heading 325, maintain 2,500 feet until established, cleared RNAV runway 34.
Turn right, heading 325, 2,500 feet until established, cleared RNAV runway 34, Jetstar 773.
Eastern 290, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1007. Descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1007, Eastern 290. Velocity 742, 9,800 feet, we have Tango. Velocity 742, Melbourne approach, QNH 1007, expect the ER, nav runway 34.
QNH 1007, expect the RNAV runway 34, velocity 742.
Velocity 334, cleared direct Actal, cross Actal at or above 2,500 feet.
Cabin crew,
cleared
take your seats for landing.
Nav runway 34.
Cleared direct Agdel, cross Agdel at or above 2,500 feet. Cleared RNAV runway 34, velocity 334.
Jetstar 773, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5.
Contact Tower 120.5, Jetstar 773. Melbourne Tower, Jetstar 773, RNAV runway 34.
Jetstar 773, Melbourne Tower, continue.
Roger, Jetstar 773.
Melbourne Tower, Qantas 463, RNAV runway 34.
Qantas 463, Melbourne Tower, continue.
Wilco, Qantas 463.
Melbourne Tower, velocity 334, RNAV runway 34.
Velocity 334, Melbourne Tower, continue.
Roger, velocity 334.
Rex 152, contact Melbourne departure 118.9.
Contact Melbourne, departure 118.9, Rex 152.
Jetstar 773, wind 015 at 16, gust 28, runway 34, clear to land.
Runway 34 cleared to land, Jetstar 773.
Qantas 045 holding short, runway 34.
Qantas 045, hold short of 34.
Affirm, hold short of 34 for traffic, Qantas 045.
Melbourne Tower, Rex 3772, on our runway 34. Rex 3772, Melbourne Tower, continue. Wilco, Rex 3772.
Approaching 3-4.
Don't sink.
Jetstar 773, exit right at Foxtrot.
Exit right at Foxtrot, Jetstar 773.
maintain 2,500 feet.
On the go. Fly runway center line, maintain 2,500 feet, velocity 334.
Velocity 334, contact Melbourne approach 132.0.
Contact Melbourne, approach 132.0, velocity 334. Talk to you in a minute.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
JST773, contact ground
Welcome to
121.7. Bye-bye.
The local time is 17 hours and 10
Ground
minutes,
121.7,
and the temperature outside is
JST773.
a comfortable 15 degrees Celsius with partly cloudy skies. Please remain seated with your seatbelt
JST773,
securely
request taxi
fastened
to
while
allocated
the
gate.
aircraft taxis to the gate. Kindly check that you have all your personal
JST773,
belongings
gate Golf
before leaving
45
the
taxi
aircraft.
via Victor Yankee.
On behalf of Jetstar, Captain Tyson
Gate Golf
Monroe
45 via
and the
Victor
entire
Yankee,
crew,
Jetstar
I would like to
773.
thank you for flying with us today. Melbourne is known for its vibrant art
All
scene
aircraft be
and
advised
beautiful
information
parks,
uniform
and
now
we hope
current.
you enjoy your
QNH
time here.
1006.
We look forward to welcoming you on board again soon.
Jetstar 035, gate Delta 1 Tree Alpha, request pushback.
Jetstar 035, Melbourne ground pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
Pushback approved, face west, Jetstar 035.
New Zealand 258, request taxi to the active.
New Zealand 258, runway 34 taxi via Alpha Kilo.
Runway 34 taxi via Alpha Kilo, New Zealand 258.
Rex 3772, ramp Sierra 8 taxi via Foxtrot, Victor, Juliet, Alpha, Whiskey, Whiskey 2.
Ramp Sierra 8 via Foxtrot, Victor, Juliet, Alpha, Whiskey, Whiskey 2, Rex 3772.
Qantas 777, at gate Bravo 25, request pushback.
Qantas 777, Melbourne ground pushback and engine start approved. Face north.
Pushback approved, face north, Qantas 777.
Jetstar 035, taxi for departure.
Jetstar 035, runway 34 taxi via Tango, Alpha, Kilo.
Runway 34 taxi via Tango Alpha Kilo Jetstar 035.
Qantas 777, taxi for departure.
Qantas 777 runway 34 taxi via Romeo Echo Tango Papa Alpha Kilo. Runway 34 taxi via Romeo Echo Tango Papa Alpha Kilo Qantas 777.
Velocity 875, gate Foxtrot 21, request pushback and engine start.
Velocity 875, Melbourne ground, pushback and engine start approved, face west.
Pushback approved, face west, velocity 875. Qantas 695, at gate Charlie 10, request pushback and engine start.
Qantas 695, Melbourne ground, pushback and engine start approved, face north.
Pushback approved, face north, Qantas 695. Velocity 875, ready to taxi to the active.
Velocity 875, runway 34 taxi via Golf Alpha Kilo.
Alright, we'll taxi to runway 34 via Golf Alpha Kilo, velocity 875. Qantas 695, ready to taxi to the active.
Qantas 695, runway 34 taxi via Papa Tango Alpha Kilo.
Runway 34 taxi via Papa Tango Alpha Kilo, Qantas 695.
Velocity 742, Gate Foxtrot 21 taxi via Echo, Victor Golf.
Gate Foxtrot 21 via Echo. Victor Golf, velocity 742.
Velocity 871, Gate Foxtrot 21, request pushback and engine start.
Velocity 871, Melbourne ground, pushback approved, face west.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face west, velocity 871.
Velocity 753 at gate Echo 8, request pushback and engine start.
Velocity 753, Melbourne ground, hold position for company traffic. I'll call you back.
Hold position, velocity 753.
Velocity 871, request taxi.
Velocity 871, runway 34, taxi via Golf Alpha Kilo.
Alright, we'll taxi to runway 34 via Golf Alpha Kilo, velocity 871.
Velocity 753, Melbourne ground, pushback approved, face west.
Pushback approved, face west, velocity 753. Velocity 753, request taxi.
Velocity 753, runway 34, taxi via Golf Alpha Kilo.
Runway 34 taxi via Golf Alpha Kilo, velocity 753.
Rex 3685, ramp Sierra 5, taxi via Foxtrot, Victor, Juliet, Sierra, Whiskey, Whiskey 2.
Ramp Sierra 5 via Foxtrot, Victor, Juliet, Sierra, Whiskey, Whiskey 2, Rex 3685.
Velocity 871, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5.
Contact Tower 120.5, velocity 871. Have a good afternoon.
Tango 1528, Melbourne ground, pushback approved, face north.
Pushback approved, face north, Tango 1528.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Velocity 873, gate Echo 9er, request pushback.
Velocity 873, Melbourne ground, pushback approved, face west.
Pushback and engine start approved, face west, velocity 873.
Tango 1528, taxi for departure.
Tango 1528, runway 34, taxi via Quebec, Tango, Papa Alpha, Kilo.
Runway 34 taxi via Quebec, Tango, Papa, Alpha, Kilo, Tango 1528.
Velocity 873, request taxi.
Velocity 873, runway 34, taxi via uniform, Sierra Golf Alpha, Kilo.
Runway 34, taxi via uniform, Sierra Golf Alpha, Kilo, velocity 873.
3 Alpha, request pushback.
Jetstar 796 Melbourne ground, pushback approved, face west.
Pushback approved, face west, Jetstar 796.
Velocity 873, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5.
Contact Tower 120.5, velocity 873.
Tango 1528, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5.
Contact Tower 120.5, Tango 1528, have a good afternoon.
Jetstar 796, request taxi.
Jetstar 796, runway 34 taxi via Tango, Alpha, Kilo.
Runway 34 taxi via Tango, Alpha.
Jetstar 524 ready to pick up EFR clearance to Kingsford Smith.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne delivery, expect runway 34, Docel 2, departure, initial climb to 6,000 feet, squawk 0550.
Docel 2 departure, the squawk 0550, Jetstar 524.
Jetstar 524, read back correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for push or start.
We'll contact ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start. Jetstar 524, thanks.
Jetstar 434, Gate Golf 42, request pushback and engine start.
Jetstar 434, Melbourne ground, pushback and engine start approved, face west.
Pushback approved, face west, Jetstar 434.
Velocity 248, gate Foxtrot 21, taxi via Echo Victor Golf.
Gate Foxtrot 21 via Echo Victor Golf, velocity 248.
Jetstar 796, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5, bye-bye.
Contact Tower 120.5, Jetstar 796.
Jetstar 434, request taxi.
Jetstar 434, runway 34 taxi via Juliet Sierra Alpha Kilo.
Runway 34, taxi via Juliet Sierra Alpha Kilo, Jetstar 434.
Jetstar 439, gate Golf 54, taxi via Echo Victor Juliet.
Gate Golf 54 via Echo Victor Juliet, Jetstar 439.
Jetstar 434, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5.
Over to Tower 120.5, Jetstar 434.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Lock in gear.
This is your captain, Tyson Monroe, welcoming you aboard Jetstar flight number 524 from Melbourne to Sydney. We are currently at the gate preparing for departure on this Airbus A320 aircraft. I am pleased to introduce Lily, one of our dedicated cabin crew members, who will be assisting you during the flight.
Rex 141,
Thank you
gate
for
Echo
choosing
9,
to fly
taxi
with
via
Jetstar
Echo
today.
Victor uniform.
We look forward to providing you with a comfortable
Gate
and
Echo 9
enjoyable
via
journey.
Echo Victor uniform, Rex 141.
Our estimated flight time this afternoon is approximately 55 minutes. Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare for departure, we kindly ask for your full attention as we go over the safety features of this aircraft. Seatbelts should be fastened at this time, and all carry-on items must be stowed in the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you. In the event of an emergency, follow the illuminated exit signs to locate your nearest exit. Remember that your nearest exit may be behind you. In the unlikely event of a water landing, this aircraft is equipped with life vests located under your seat. To use, pull the vest out, slip it over your head, and secure it with the straps. Inflate your vest by pulling the red tabs or by blowing into the tubes on either side. Do not inflate your vest until exiting the aircraft. If oxygen masks are needed, they will drop automatically from the panel above. Place the mask over your nose and mouth, secure it with the elastic band, and breathe normally.
Jetstar 213, gate Delta 15 Alpha, request pushback and engine start.
We appreciate your cooperation, as we ensure your safety and comfort.
Jetstar 525, gate Foxtrot 20 taxi via Foxtrot, Victor Yankee.
Gate Foxtrot 20 via Foxtrot, Victor Yankee, Jetstar 525.
Jetstar 524, gate Golf 45, request pushback.
Jetstar 213, Melbourne ground, pushback approved, face west.
Pushback approved, face west. Jetstar 213.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Started well.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne ground, pushback approved, face west.
Ladies and gentlemen,
pushback and engine start approved, face west, Jetstar 524.
If you require additional light, please use the button above your seat to activate
Qantas
your reading light.
628, gate Charlie 6, request pushback and engine start.
Qantas 628, Melbourne ground, pushback and engine start approved, face north.
Pushback and engine start approved, face north, Qantas 628. Jetstar 213, taxi for departure.
Jetstar 213, runway 34 taxi via Tango Alpha Kilo.
Runway 34 taxi via Tango Alpha Kilo, Jetstar 213. Qantas 628, ready to taxi to the active.
Qantas 628, runway 34 taxi via Papa Tango Alpha Kilo.
Runway 34, taxi via Papa, Tango, Alpha, Kilo, Qantas 628.
Please set parking brakes. Unlocking gear.
Qantas 471, gate Charlie 9 taxi via Echo Quebec Tango.
Gate Charlie 9 via Echo, Quebec Tango, Qantas 471.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Jetstar 665, Gate Golf 50, taxi via Foxtrot, Victor Juliet Sierra.
Gate Golf 50 via Foxtrot, Victor Juliet Sierra, Jetstar 665.
Jetstar 524 ready to taxi to the active.
Jetstar 524, runway 34, taxi via Yankee Alpha Kilo.
All right, we'll taxi to runway 34 via Yankee Alpha Kilo Jetstar 524.
All aircraft be advised, information Kilo now current, QNH 1007. Jetstar 213, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5.
Contact Tower 120.5, Jetstar 213.
Qantas 628, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5, bye-bye.
Over to Tower 120.5, Qantas 628.
Eastern 59, Gate Bravo 30, request pushback and engine start. Jetstar 524, contact Melbourne Tower 120.5.
Over to Tower 120.5, Jetstar 524, bye-bye. Jetstar 524 ready for departure, runway 34.
Jetstar 524, hold short of 34, departing traffic.
Approaching.
We'll go
3-4.
hold short of 34 for traffic, Jetstar 524.
Jetstar 524, runway 34, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, runway 34, Jetstar 524.
Melbourne Tower, Qantas 627, RNAV runway 34.
Qantas 627, Melbourne Tower, continue.
Roger, Qantas 627.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff.
On runway 34.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne Tower, wind 005 at 16, gust 26, runway 34, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff, Jetstar 524.
Qantas 628, contact Melbourne departure 118.9er.
Contact Melbourne, departure 118.9er, Qantas 628.
Eastern 58, wind 005 at 16, gust 26, runway 34 cleared to land.
Runway 34 cleared to land, Eastern 58.
Jetstar 524, contact Melbourne departure 118.9er.
Contact Melbourne departure 118.9er, Jetstar 524. Melbourne departure, Jetstar 524, 2,600 feet.
Jetstar 524 Melbourne departure, good afternoon, identified, climb to flight level 180.
Climb to flight level 180, Jetstar 524.
We are currently climbing to our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened. Shortly after we reach cruising altitude, our cabin crew will begin serving a selection of paid snacks and beverages. You can find the Sky menu in the seat pocket in front of you. Our crew will be passing through the cabin with the service card, and you may pay using the methods listed in the menu. Should you require any assistance, please do not hesitate to ask. Thank you for your attention and cooperation.
Qantas 628, contact Melbourne Centre 124.0.
Centre on 124.0, Qantas 628.
Seatbelt sign has just been turned off. You may now move around the cabin. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened while seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Melbourne departure, Rex 3783, 1,500 feet. Rex 3783, Melbourne departure, identified, climb to flight level 190. Climb to flight level 190, Rex 3783. Jetstar 524, contact Melbourne Centre 124.0.
Centre on 124.0, Jetstar 524, bye-bye. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 524 through flight level 155 for flight level 180, direct OSL.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne Centre, identified, climb to flight level 370.
Climb to flight level 370, Jetstar 524.
We are now beginning our in-flight service. We will be offering a variety of paid snacks and beverages for your enjoyment. Please note that we accept both card payments and cash for your convenience. You can find the Sky menu in the seat pocket in front of you to browse the selections available. Kindly remain seated while we serve you, and if you have any questions or special requests, please do not hesitate to ask one of our cabin crew members. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy the service.
Qantas 628, contact Melbourne Centre 125.2. Have a good afternoon.
Centre on 125.2, Qantas 628.
Jetstar 524, contact Melbourne Centre 125.2, have a good afternoon.
Centre on 125.2, Jetstar 524, bye-bye. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 524, leaving flight level 235 for flight level 370.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne Centre identified. Qantas 879, contact Melbourne Centre 118.6. Contact Melbourne Centre 118.6, Qantas 879. Velocity 336. Contact Melbourne Centre 118.6.
Centre on 118.6. Velocity 336.
Tango 1528, Melbourne Centre. Expect Poly 9 Alpha, runway 35.
Expect Poly 9 Alpha, runway 35, Tango 1528.
Melbourne Centre, JST773, out of flight level 159er for flight level 350.
Jetstar 213, Melbourne Centre identified. Tango 1528, Poly 9 Alpha, runway 35. Report ready for descent.
Poly 9 Alpha, runway 35, ready for descent, Tango 1528.
Tango 1528, descend to flight level 160.
Descend to flight level 160, Tango 1528.
Melbourne Centre,
Rec 685, flight level 233. Rec 685, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. Continue climb to flight level 380. Continue climb to flight level 380, Rec 685. Jetstar 796, contact Melbourne Centre 119.5.
Contact Melbourne Centre 119.5, Jetstar 796.
Velocity 873, contact Melbourne Centre 133.15. Contact Melbourne Centre 133.15, velocity 873, bye-bye. Jetstar 434, contact Melbourne Centre 119.5, bye-bye. Contact Melbourne Centre 119.5, Jetstar 434. Jetstar 524, contact Melbourne Centre 133.15.
Centre on 133.15, Jetstar 524. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 524, good afternoon, flight level 370.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne Centre identified. Melbourne Centre, Kanga 1528, descending via Poly-9er Alpha, flight level 236. Kanga 1528, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. Jetstar 524, contact Melbourne Centre 119er, decimal 5.
Centre on 119er, decimal 5, Jetstar 524. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 524, flight level 370.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne Centre, identified.
Jetstar 524, approaching our top of descent, ready for descent.
Jetstar 524, Rivet 4, runway 34 left, descend to flight level 120.
Rivet 4, runway 34 left, descend to flight level 120, Jetstar 524.
Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 1038, good afternoon, flight level 330.
Jetstar 1038, Melbourne Centre, radar contact.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We will be starting our descent into Sydney shortly. As it is early evening, air traffic around the airport is expected to be busy, but we will do our best to find a smooth and efficient approach to bring you in safely and promptly. Please ensure your seatbelt is fastened and follow all instructions from our cabin crew. Thank you for your attention.
Melbourne Centre, Qantas 628, good afternoon, flight level 370.
Jetstar 767, Melbourne Centre, expect Rabbit 4, runway 34 left.
We have now begun our descent into Sydney and expect to arrive in approximately 20 minutes.
Runway 34. Left,
The weather at our destination remains clear with a comfortable temperature of 17 degrees Celsius,
Qantas
so we
628,
anticipate
Melbourne
smooth
Centre,
approach
identified.
and no delays. Please ensure your seatbelt is securely fastened and kindly follow the instructions of the cabin crew as we prepare for landing. Thank you for your attention.
Melbourne Centre, Qantas 744, flight level 350.
Jetstar 1038, Melbourne Centre, expect rivet 4, runway 34 left.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you have just
Expect
heard from
rivet
our
4,
captain,
runway
we have
34 left, Jetstar 1038.
Please ensure your seatbelt is securely fastened and that your seat back
Qantas 744, Melbourne Centre, identified.
In a few minutes, we will be collecting any remaining service items and rubbish. We thank you for your cooperation and hope you have enjoyed your flight with us.
Melbourne Centre, velocity 875, flight level 208.
Velocity 875, Melbourne Centre, good afternoon, identified, continue climb to flight level 370.
Continue climb to flight level 370, velocity 875.
Jetstar 767, rivet 4, runway 34 left. Report ready for descent.
Rivet 4, runway 34, left ready for descent. Jetstar 767.
Jetstar 767, descend to flight level 120.
Descend to flight level 120. Jetstar 767.
Jetstar 1038, rivet 4, runway 34 left. Report ready for descent.
Rivet 4, runway 34 left, ready for descent. Jetstar 1038.
Jetstar 1038, descend to flight level 120.
Descend to flight level 120, Jetstar 1038.
Unity 1979, contact Melbourne Centre, 125.2, have a good afternoon.
Contact Melbourne Centre, 125.2, Unity 1979, bye-bye.
Melbourne Centre, velocity 873. Good afternoon, out of flight level 208 for flight level 370, direct rivet.
Velocity JST773, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. Jetstar 524, contact Melbourne Centre 129.8, bye-bye.
Contact Melbourne Centre 129.8, Jetstar 524. Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 524, descending via Rivet 4, flight level 236.
Jetstar 524, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. Melbourne Centre, Unity 1909, flight level 339er. Jetstar 526, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1013.
Descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1013, Jetstar 526.
Unity 1909, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. Velocity 431, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1013.
Descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1013, velocity 431.
Jetstar 526, contact Sydney approach 124.4.
Contact Sydney approach 124.4, Jetstar 526.
Cabin crew, please dim the lights for landing.
We will be dimming the lights for landing. Please use the reading light above your seat if you need additional light.
Melbourne Centre, velocity 1227, flight level 272.
Velocity 431, contact Sydney approach 124.4.
Contact Sydney approach 124.4, velocity 431.
Velocity 1227, Melbourne Centre, identified, climb to flight level 370.
Climb to flight level 370, velocity 1227.
Unity 1909, you are assigned to flight level 340. I show you at flight level 327. Climb to flight level 340.
Roger, climb to flight level 340, Unity 1909.
Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 1038, descending via Rivet 4, flight level 282.
Jetstar 1038, Melbourne Centre, identified.
Melbourne Centre, Jetstar 767, descending via Rivet 4, flight level 284.
Jetstar 767, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. 133.8, bye-bye.
Center on 133.8, velocity 1227.
Jetstar 524, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1013.
Descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1013, Jetstar 524.
Melbourne Centre, velocity 875, flight level 181. Velocity 875, Melbourne Centre, radar contact. Velocity 875, Melbourne Centre, expect rivet 4, runway 34 left. Expect rivet 4, runway 34 left, velocity 875. Jetstar 524, contact Sydney approach 124.4.
Contact Sydney approach 124.4, Jetstar 524.
Emirates 5, Charlie Lima Super, 5 miles from Sosaich, turn right, heading 300, maintain 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 34 left.
Turn right, heading 300, 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 34 left, Emirates 5 Charlie Lima Super.
Sydney approach, Jetstar 524, 9,700 feet, we have Golf on board.
Jetstar 524, Sydney approach, QNH 101, tree expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left.
QNH 1013, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left, Jetstar 524.
Jetstar 524, descend to 7,000 feet.
Descend to 7,000 feet, Jetstar 524.
Velocity 431, turn left heading 135, vectors for the approach.
Turn left heading 135, velocity 431. Sydney approach, Rex 367, good afternoon, 8,800 feet with information Golf.
Rex 367 Sydney approach, QNH 1013, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left.
QNH 1013, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left, Rex 367.
Rex 367, descend to 8,000 feet.
Descend to 8,000 feet, Rex 367.
Jetstar 524, descend to 3,000 feet.
Descend to 3,000 feet, Jetstar 524.
Sunstate 43 Delta, contact Sydney Tower 120.5. Contact Tower 120.5, Sunstate 43 Delta. Emirates 5, Charlie Lima Super, contact Sydney Tower 120.5, have a good afternoon.
Over to Tower 120.5, Emirates 5, Charlie Lima Super.
Jetstar 526, turn left, heading 130, vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 130, Jetstar 526.
Velocity 431, turn left, heading 070.
Turn left, heading 070, velocity 431.
Velocity 431, turn left, heading 020, intercept the tree 4 left localizer.
Turn left, heading 020, intercept the tree 4 left localizer, velocity 431.
Velocity 966, descend to 3,000 feet.
Descend to 3,000 feet, velocity 966.
Velocity 431, 2 miles from Sausage, turn left, heading 005, maintain 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway, tree 4 left.
Turn left, heading 005, 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway tree 4 left, velocity 431.
Jetstar 526, 4 miles from Sausage, turn left heading 030, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared ILS runway tree 4 left.
Turn left, heading 030, 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway tree 4 left, Jetstar 526.
Velocity 1420, 4 miles from Sausage, turn left, heading 025, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared ILS, runway tree 4 left.
Turn left, heading 025, 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway, 34 left, velocity 1420.
Jetstar 524, turn left, heading 050, vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 050, Jetstar 524.
Jetstar 526, contact Sydney Tower, 120, decimal 5.
Contact tower 120, decimal 5, Jetstar 526, bye-bye.
Velocity 431, contact Sydney Tower 120, decimal 5.
Over to tower 120, decimal 5, velocity 431.
Jetstar 524, turn left, heading 005, intercept the tree 4, left localizer.
Turn left, heading 005, intercept the 34 left localizer, Jetstar 524.
Jetstar 524, 6 miles from Sausage, turn left, heading tree 50, maintain 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway tree 4 left.
Turn left, heading 350, 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 34 left, Jetstar 524.
Rex 367, descend to 3,000 feet.
Descend to 3,000 feet, Rex 367.
Velocity 1420, contact Sydney Tower 120, decimal 5.
Over to Tower 120.5, velocity 1420.
All aircraft be advised, information hotel now current. QNH 1013. Sydney approach, Jetstar 1038. Good afternoon, 9,300 feet. We have hotel on board. Velocity 966, turn left, heading 140. Vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 140, velocity 966.
Jetstar 1038 Sydney approach. QNH 101 expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left.
QNH 1013 expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left. Jetstar 1038.
Jetstar 524 established on final approach.
Jetstar 1038, descend to 7,000 feet.
Descend to 7,000 feet, Jetstar 1038.
Jetstar 524, affirm.
Sydney approach, Jetstar 767, 8,700 feet with information hotel.
Jetstar 767, Sydney approach, QNH 1013, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left.
QNH 1013, expect radar vectors for ILS, runway 34 left, Jetstar 767.
Jetstar 767, descend to 7,000 feet.
Descend to 7,000 feet, Jetstar 767.
Velocity 966, turn left, heading 075.
Turn left, heading 075, velocity 966.
Sydney approach, velocity 875, 9,900 feet. We have hotel.
Velocity 875, Sydney approach, QNH 1013, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left.
QQ1, QH 1013, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 34 left, velocity 875.
Velocity 966, 3 miles from Sausage, turn left, heading 020, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared ILS runway, 34 left.
Turn left, heading 020, 3,000 feet until established. Cleared ILS runway, 34 left, velocity 966.
Jetstar 1038, descend to 3,000 feet.
Descend to 3,000 feet, Jetstar 1038.
Jetstar 767, descend to 3,000 feet.
Descend to 3,000 feet, Jetstar 767.
Velocity 875, descend to 7,000 feet.
Descend to 7,000 feet, velocity 875.
Jetstar 524, contact Sydney Tower, 120.5.
Over to Tower 120.5, Jetstar 524, bye-bye. Sydney Tower, Jetstar 524, ILS runway 34 left.
Rex 6833, exit right at Bravo 90.
Exit right at Bravo 90, Rex 6833.
Jetstar 524, Sydney Tower, continue.
Roger, Jetstar 524.
Cabin crew, take your seats for landing.
Jetstar 524, wind 275 at 8, runway 34 left cleared to land.
Runway 34 left cleared to land, Jetstar 524.
Sydney Tower, velocity 966, ILS runway 34 left.
Velocity 966, Sydney Tower, continue.
Wilco, velocity 966.
Wilco.
Approaching 34 left.
Jetstar 524, exit right at Bravo 8.
Exit right at Bravo 8, Jetstar 524.
Jetstar 524, contact ground 126.5.
Ground 126.5, Jetstar 524. Jetstar 524, request taxi to allocated gate.
Jetstar 524, gate Delta 45 taxi via Bravo 9 Kilo Charlie. Hold short runway 07.
1900 hours, and the temperature outside is a comfortable 17
Gate Delta
degrees
45 via
Celsius
Bravo
with
9
clear
Kilo
skies.
Charlie. Hold short runway 07,
Please
Jetstar
remain seated
524.
with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign has been switched off. Kindly check that you have all your personal belongings with you before leaving the aircraft. On behalf of Jetstar and Captain Tyson Monroe, we would like to thank you for choosing to fly with us today. We hope you had a pleasant journey and look forward to welcoming you on board again soon.
Jetstar 524 holding short 07.
Jetstar 524, cross runway 07 at Charlie. Continue taxi
Approaching
via Charlie Golf Bravo 4.
Cross runway 07 at Charlie. Continue taxi via Charlie Golf Bravo 4, Jetstar 524.
Velocity 966. 966, Gate Foxtrot 4 taxi via Bravo 9, Bravo Bravo 8, Charlie Juliet Delta Golf.
Gate Foxtrot 4 via Bravo 9er, Bravo Bravo 8, Charlie Juliet Delta Golf, velocity 966.
Cabin crew, disarm doors and cross-check.
Rex 367, Gate Delta 52 taxi via Bravo 9 at Bravo Bravo 8 Charlie, hold short runway 07. Gate Delta 52 via Bravo 9 Bravo Bravo 8 Charlie, hold short runway 07 Rex 367. 767, cross runway 07 at Charlie, continue taxi via Charlie, Golf. Cross runway 07 at Charlie, continue taxi via Charlie, Golf, Rex 367. Jetstar 767, cross runway 07 at Charlie, continue taxi via Charlie, Golf.
Cross runway 07 at Charlie, continue taxi via Charlie, Golf, Jetstar 767.
Jetstar 1038, gate 55, taxi via Alpha 2, Alpha Golf, Yankee in 5.
Gate 55 via Alpha 2, Alpha Golf, Yankee int 5, Jetstar 1038.
Velocity 873, ramp Foxtrot 16, taxi via Bravo 9er, Bravo Bravo 8, Charlie Juliet Delta Golf.
Ramp Foxtrot 16 via Bravo 9er, Bravo Bravo 8, Charlie Juliet Delta Golf, velocity 873.